middle, Steve?
Yeah, Coach, I think we can flesh together the quarterback, running back, tight end rotations, but I think it's a little murky at wide receiver and offensive line. Can you take us through maybe those two groups and say who's one, who's two, and where things kind of lie right now?
Yeah, we feel like we've got 4 wide receivers right now that would definitely be considered starter slash, 50, 60, 70 play a game guys, and that would be Philly Brown, Evan Spencer, Devin Smith, and Chris Fields. Those 4 guys we feel very comfortable about. Philly's kind of your swing guy, if you will, where he can play outside receiver, he can play some inside receiver. Chris Fields is mainly an inside receiver, and Devin and Evan are both mainly outside receivers. And then beyond that, you've got a couple guys in the mix that are trying to fight for that 5th and 6th spot, and Mike Thomas and Corey Smith and I drew a blank. The freshman, James Clark. Yeah, I recruited him. Yeah. Shows you how. Yeah, and James Clark, and then obviously we'll sprinkle in some Dontre Wilson in there as well. So those guys are kind of, like I said, they're the ones that are battling for those leftover reps and those leftover snaps during the game.
A couple more questions. Front row, Tim.
Yeah, a couple, 3. Tim May, Columbus Dispatch.
Tim May, Columbus Dispatch.
Exactly. Define what you mean by sprinkle in some Dontre Wilson. What does that mean?
He's going to touch the ball. We'd be foolish not to have him touch the ball. I think you've got to be careful with a true freshman that has to play some running back, has to play some wide receiver, has to flex out and run routes, but yet be in the backfield and run plays, if you will. And so the package will be small to start the year off and let him become an expert at the few things that we're asking him to do. Through the first 3 weeks, we've thrown a ton of stuff at him. And now that he's been exposed to so many different things, and he's screwed a lot of them up, but the exposure is there, and now this last week will be kind of fine-tuning. Here's what you need to be really good at come Saturday against Buffalo. These 8, 10 plays, formations, routes, runs. That's what we need you to be good at. So how many times and how often and how many snaps and how many plays and where's he going to lie? I don't know. I'm not being coy. At this point on Monday of game week, I don't know that we know that, but I know he'll touch the ball, and I know he'll have a condensed package for him to get the ball to him.
When you look at your running back rotation, do you see 4, 5 just totally different guys, or how would you? I mean, you go from Jordan Hall to Briante Dunn to Warren Ball to Ezekiel Elliott to possibly Dontre Wilson also in there. How do you use those parts?
You feed the guy that needs to get fed, I guess. the guy that's playing the best will get the ball, and so we'll determine early who that is. Jordan Hall will obviously, he's at a great camp, will be the guy that starts off at that spot and will continue at that spot, and then as need be, we'll, again, a running back can't play 75 plays a game, so we'll figure out who goes in next and see how he's doing, and if he's having success, then maybe some of the other guys, their reps get limited, or if he's not having success, okay, let's try plan C, let's try plan D. And so I think there's a little bit of a hierarchy. I don't know that I'm prepared to share that right now, but beyond Jordan, you certainly want to get those guys some game reps and then just kind of see how they do.
Kind of asked you this the other day, but in a general sense, do you, for lack of another term, do you feel like your gun's fully loaded going into the season compared to a year ago? I mean, from an offensive standpoint, your weapons are fully deployed.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd ever say it's fully loaded. I kind of like those teams they put out there in Honolulu and in the Pro Bowl, and then I'd feel like we were fully loaded. But we're closer than we've ever been. and that's exciting. Again, the hard part as coaches is you have to temper your creativity a little bit, because one of the things I was so proud of us as an offensive staff and the players this fall camp was we did the same things over and over and over and over and over again, and we did them, and we were successful. Week 3, when the defense knew exactly what we were doing, we could still execute, and that was exciting to me. And so I think you have to be careful to temper your enthusiasm and creativity, because at the end of the day you can overthink and overcoach yourself out of being really good at your identity. This is who we are, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to do it better than anybody in the country. If that means that, hey, we want to get in a 2 tight end package with no running backs and put Dontre here and Jalen Marshall there and put Jordan here and do this and switch, at the end of the day, well, hang on, let's do what we're really, really good at, and then figure out how to plug those pieces of the puzzles into what we're good at.
Last question, far left, Rusty.
Rusty Miller, AP. Could you talk just a little bit about Buffalo's defense, what they tried to do, how you attack it? And secondly, beyond just winning the game, as an offensive coordinator, what your goals are to get out of the opener?
Yeah, well, Buffalo's defense is actually pretty unique. It's something that is a little bit difficult to prepare for, because you've been playing against a certain style of defense all fall camp, and then you go into your first game, and they're a 3-3 stack team that they'll play 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, 3 safeties, and 2 corners. And the unique thing, not only is the front unique because it's from a 3 down rather than a 4 down front, their coverage schemes are very unique. They do a lot of unique things in terms of having their corners as their half field players to get the safeties, those 3 safeties involved in the run fits. So it'll be a challenge as we go through this week to kind of retrain our brains offensively to what we've been facing for 3 weeks, and then retrain them to, okay, now this is Buffalo, this is completely different than what you faced. They have a really, really good linebacker, number 46. I can't remember his name, but he is an extremely talented player. Probably will be a first few round draftable kind of guy after this season, and so he poses some matchup issues that we'll have to game plan for. And to answer the second part of your question, what are we looking to get out of it? Obviously, we want to win the game. We want to score. We want to execute. We want to minimize our negative plays. That was one thing. We felt like we took too many sacks last year. We had probably a few too many negative yardage runs. So we want to be. We want our execution level and our fundamentals and our techniques, and we want everything to be sound. And at the end of the day, we don't ever set a point total. We want to score this many points. We want to rush for this many yards. We want to throw for this many yards. We want to be very, very sound and very fundamental, which is something we weren't last year in the opener, and I think we've got a chance to be this year. So if we can minimize or eliminate those negative plays and obviously turnovers, I think we'll have proved to ourselves that we're headed in the right direction.
Tom, just to clarify real quick, I don't know if you mentioned Jalen Marshall and the receivers. Is he in that mix, or has he been set back by concussion issues?
We'll set back a little bit, yeah. We'll still try to get him in the mix a little bit, but he's got some ground to make up.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.